A fantastic day of trade and a year ending that we're seeing in terms of where markets go nearly near the day's highest levels is where we are trading at. If you see the range as well, we opened at around 17,210 and we've hit a high of around 17,381. So gains of almost 1.5 to 1.6% coming in there. To decode as to what's in store from here on, joining us on the show is Osho Krishan, Senior Research Analyst, Technical and Derivatives at Angel One. Osho, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Very good afternoon, Hiral. Thank you for inviting me in the show.
Always a pleasure. Osho, my first question coming to you is clearly from today's trade perspective, after expiry, the anticipation was that everyone was watching out for 17,200 as the key, resistance level. We've already crossed those. And from here on, it seems like an upward journey. What are charts and what is derivative data actually indicating?
See, overall, if we will be seeing the derivative data, then on the day of expiry, we were having some kind of hint about the market to surge upwards. And today, while opening, we have seen a very decent gap up opening, which has been sustained throughout the session. And the follow on heavyweights, basically major counter was the Reliance, which has surged approximately 3.5-4% in the day. So that has been the main reason which has lifted the overall sentiments in the market, and Nifty is hovering at near the day high levels. So from today onwards, even the slumber phase of 17,200 and 17,000, where we were witnessing a kind of very long consolidation of approximately 10 days in those 200 point of range. But with today's gap up opening and the sustenance on the higher levels, we are expected that from here onwards we can see an upper target of approximately 17,500 in a very short term perspective. So overall the range has been changed now. On the downside, 17,200 to be seen as a very strong support for the time being, and on the higher end, 17,500 will be the immediate target or resistance in the near period.
Right. So, Osho, would it be right to say at 17,500, yet again, we could start seeing selling pressure that could come in? And then, if Nifty still manages to sustain above those 17,200, 17,250 levels, then we will see a further upside. But if not, there could be downward pressure that could build in. And if so, what levels should we then track on the downside?
See, undoubtedly, the technical parameters or the technical analysis on Nifty is still on the downtrend. That the overall chart structure is still on the downside. We are not very much bullish in the market. And the immediate levels or immediate parameters that we have to see is the 200-day SMA. So the 200-day SMA is somewhere around 17,480 levels, followed by the bearish gap, which is also placed around 17,450 to 17,600 odd zone. So this is a very strong resistance zone for the market. And until we surpass this on a very strong or a decisive manner, the bullish trend will be very hard to be seen in the near period. But as of now, what we can see that the base has been set for the time being. And on the downside, we are not expecting anything below 16,850. So on the downside, almost the market has bottomed out from here, but it will be very early to say until we witness a very strong reversal kind of a pattern, which will be seen only once we fulfill the bearish gap, which is placed around 17,450 to 17,600 levels.
Right. So now moving in terms of Bank Nifty as well, clearly, if you see, we've started the day on a positive note. There is good sustenance coming in on that front as well. Around right now, we are at levels of say 4,600. Now, from a Bank Nifty perspective, the anticipation was that probably we could see some bit of selling pressure that would come in at around 4,500, which has a major call base, right? But we've moved higher than that. What is this? Is this a short covering rally, or how are you looking at Bank Nifty?
See, majority of the today's momentum is basically on the side of short covering rally only, because the major of the chunk on Nifty was around 17,200. So with the opening, obviously we have seen a lot of covering in Nifty also. And for Bank Nifty, approximately 40,000 was the critical level, followed by 40,500. So 40,000 in the opening only, we have seen a lot of very strong movement from there onwards. So the movement continued on the basis of short covering. And on the higher end, 40,500 is still a very strong open interest concentration on the call from the call writers. So we might see some kind of congestion or some kind of cool off in Bank Nifty around 40,500 zone. But for the timing, overall, there has been sentimental change in the market because we are witnessing that the overall market breadth has been very much positive in today's session. So overall, all the banking counters like Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, SBI, all the major heavyweight banking counters have been on a very positive trajectory for the day. So we are expecting that from here onwards, we might see some kind of range on the higher end, a resistance near about 40,800 levels. But once we surpass those levels, then from there onwards, we can see the Bank Nifty to lead the rally from the front.
Right. But now see, this is a truncated week. Taking into consideration hypothetically that Monday, we are not really able to hold on to gains, right? Then what levels on the downside we should be looking at from a Bank Nifty perspective?
See, for Bank Nifty, we have seen a strong opening in today's session. So we can expect that on the downside, 40,200 should be act as the immediate support zone, followed by the sacrosanct support at 40,000. So we are not expecting anything below 40,000 in the near period. And even on technical front, if we will be seeing the 200-day SMA, so it is approximately hovering near 39,900 odd levels. So that means 40,000 is being a very strong support for Bank Nifty as of now. And on the higher end, 40,800 level should be acting as the immediate resistance.
Right. Moving on in terms of stock specific actions, the defense PSUs that have been in focus on the back of the order wins, right? Stocks like a BEL, Hindustan Aeronautics have seen a long build up in today's session. What are charts indicating for both these counters?
Starting with BEL was in a consolidation zone for almost a month. So it has been hovering in a very narrow range of 90 to 95 odd levels. But with today's session and with the volume, the robust volume we have seen in today's session, so we are expecting that this should be acting as a very strong consolidation breakout levels, because on technical chart also, today's price has been surged above all the moving averages. So we might expect that from here onwards, there will be some upside, more upside room in this counter. So we are expecting not very huge target, but near about 100 to 102 should be the immediate target that we can expect in BEL. And for HAL, after the news of OFS, HAL have seen a very decisive correction. But from the similar day, we are witnessing a strong buy attraction in HAL also. But by the day end, some cool off or some profit booking has been seen. But almost 2,800 should be acting as the immediate target for HAL. And any surpass beyond 2,800 can again give a boost of approximately 150 odd points in a very short term period.
Right. Apart from that, Osho, how are you looking at a Reliance? Because the stock is up around 3.5% to 4%. Open interest addition is around 2%. Volumes versus the previous session are still lower, around 29-30%. What's that setup indicating from here on? You know, where are we seeing that resistance coming in for a Reliance?
See, basically, Reliance has moved on the sentimental front because the news of demerger has came into picture today, and that has given a very strong boost to Reliance, which mirroring to the same Nifty and Bank Nifty has also started moving on the higher end. But Reliance being one of the most heavyweight counters in Nifty, so we are expecting that from here onwards, any words 2,300 was a very strong support and it has given a breakdown. But in today's session, it has recouped very well and has been placed above 2,300 levels. So from here onwards, the immediate upside that we are expecting is of 2,360 to 2,380 levels for a very short term, let's say for Monday target. But from on the positional basis, there has been a very strong reversal kind of a pattern that has been seen. So from here, we can expect the reversal to take it towards 2,450 in a short term perspective.
Right. Apart from that, in terms of metal counters, you have a Hind Zinc as well as Hind Copper, which has seen strong amount of open interest addition in today's session. Long seen in the counter as well. Good bets?
See, overall, the metal counters were in prime focus after BEDL has given or has announced the dividend issue. But again, overall, the metal is still in a sideways zone. It is not very attractive to dig in the counters as of now. But for Hind Zinc, to be specific, one should try to accumulate this counter somewhere around 288 to 290. For short-term perspective, we might see some kind of correction in near period. but 288 should be sustained because it is having a very strong bullish gap near to it. So we are expecting that 288, 280, 290 levels should be a decent level to accumulate, but in a staggered manner, not for a very strong or aggressive trade for Hang Seng. So overall,
Right.
middle counter should be something on a very gradual basis.
Right. One stock that comes to my radar right now is an Exide Industries. In terms of the May contract, the open interest addition is also very strong and the volumes are also pretty heavy as compared to, overall. Any reason for that?
See, basically, looking at the technical chart, there has been no significant change in Exide
Hmm.
Industries. It is still in the downtrend, having lower lows, lower highs. So we are expecting that, yes, no doubt, in from past three sessions, we are witnessing some kind of positive movement or buying emergence in this counter. But until it crosses 184 levels on the higher end, we are not very much bullish in the counter in the short run. So once it closes above 184, then we can review the counter for a higher target, or we can again review that what we have to do as a fresh position in Exide Industry.
Right. How are you looking at a Tata Motors, Osho?
See, Tata Motors, overall, the counter is very fantastic. Looking at the technical setup, it is hovering just near to the cluster of moving averages on the daily chart. But overall, the bullish momentum or the positive momentum in Tata Motors could be seen only above 430 levels. Because if you will be seeing the sloping trend line, so it is approximately coming near to 428, 429 odd levels. So until it breaches the sloping trend line, we are not very much bullish. But in short run, we can expect some kind of volatility in the counter. On the downside, 410 should be acting as a support, and on the higher end, 430 will be the immediate resistance.
Right. Apart from that, any other stocks that come to your radar that one should be watching out for from a Monday session perspective?
Definitely. Talking about the banking sector, Axis Bank is looking very aggressive as of now, because overall on technical setup, it is forming a double bottom formation and it is coming out of the consolidation zone. Overall, banking setup is looking very positive, and Axis Bank will be one of the top leading companies from the banking sector that we can witness a strong movement on Monday trade. So one can look for Axis Bank from the banking sector. And even from IT packs also, IT packs has seen some kind of a strong traction in today's session. So from IT, we can expect TechM to have a very strong momentum, because overall the technical structure for TechM is very positive, and currently it is hovering near to 1100 zone. So we are expecting that for Monday, we can expect a target of 1124 to 1128.
Right. So that's with regards to TechM, as well as if you see in terms of Axis Bank as well. How are you looking at an Infosys? Good moves coming in today's session.
Yes, as I have mentioned, that overall IT pack has seen a strong traction on from the bottom. But talking about Infosys, then again we are having some kind of a strong resistance which is placed at 1460. So until we surpass 1460, then after that only we can see some kind of reversal pattern in this counter. So as of now, from the risk reward point of view, it is not very lucrative to add as of now. But overall, from long-term perspective or medium-term perspective, one can definitely buy or accumulate this counter in a staggered manner.
Right. Moving away from these names, a couple of other counters I want to talk to you about is Gujarat Gas. The stock was under pressure, but good amount of open interest addition we've seen on this counter. Again, a good, and I think shorts are being built as well.
Yes, this counter has been on the downtrend from the levels of approximately 510. And on technical charts also, it is hovering way below the 200-day SMA. So we might see some kind of more weakness in the counter. For short term, the support is placed around 450. So any breach below 450 can again going to disrupt the technical chart for this counter. But 450 is the level that one should keep on the radar. And if it sustains and consolidates over there, then one can even look for opportunities in the buying side also.
Right. So I think a lot of stock specific action is what we are witnessing as well. And, a couple of next sessions will be crucial to wait and watch and see how markets actually move. But thank you, Osho, so much for joining us on the show and giving us those details. Clearly, in terms of provisional closing, if you go to see a good up move coming in Nifty 17,355, an up move of 1.6%, gains of around 275 points coming in there. Bank Nifty as well. We've ended below that 40,600 mark, but very close to it with gains of nearly 685 points coming in terms of Bank Nifty. And overall, if you see in terms of Sensex as well, over 1,000 points rally, 1,050-point rally coming in terms of the Sensex above that 59,000 levels. In terms of stock-specific action, Reliance, Nestle, Infosys, ICICI Bank, as well as Tata Motors, these have been the top gainers on Nifty 50, whereas Apollo Hospitals, Sun Pharma, Adani Ports, Asian Paints, as well as a Bajaj FinServ. These were few of the laggards in today's sessions. Clearly, clearly the advances were around 44 versus a 6. So there has been some bit of positive momentum there. In terms of Bank Nifty as well, clearly you just had one stock which was declining, which was AU Small Finance, AU Bank. But apart from that, all the other counters have ended in the positive. Reliance Industries, in fact, is one of the top gainers, which has actually pulled the Nifty to these kind of levels in today's session. But overall, if you go to see clearly in terms of Nifty as well, this is one of the best single day gains that we've seen in 4 weeks. That is since the 3rd of March of 2023. LIC saw some good volume built up. Vedanta saw some good volume built up. PNB Housing Finance was up almost 11%. And this is an uptrend in the last 3 sessions after the rights issue was announced, but at a significant discount. In fact, today you had Bank Nifty as well as Nifty, which actually helped the March month turn into positive. So that was an interesting factor to watch out for. Reliance Industries as well was in the positive in March 2023. And this is after 3 consecutive months of decline because, in the month of February, it was down around 1.3%. Overall, in the month of January was down around 7.5%, as well as in the month of December, the stock was down around 6.5-7%. So good build up coming in from a Reliance Industries as well. But a spectacular day of trade, a spectacular day to end FY23 is what we've seen in terms of where markets go. Now, whether this rally continues from next week, which is the beginning of the new financial year, is going to be something that we need to wait and watch. That's all that we have in this session. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.